What's going on, y'all? How's everybody been doing? So we're back again. Y'all will never guess where I'm at right now. Now, those of y'all that work here, you know, you can probably use your context clues to see what yard this is. But for those who don't know, I am in Houston. Yeah, Florida man that made his way back to Texas. And keep in mind, it's only Wednesday morning. So just a recap, Monday when I came in, they sent me from Orlando straight to New Orleans, which, you know, I was not expecting that, especially for a Monday. But I guess now that Central knows that that run is doable, they figured, let's give it to them again. Let's have them run it again. I will say, it's hard. I mean, it's doable, but it is tough, especially if leaving at, you know, 9:30 at night. It's a little tough. I made it this time to New Orleans with only 20 minutes to spare. When I did it the opposite way, going from New Orleans to Orlando, I was able to do it with 32 minutes to spare. But, you know, going up, I had a bunch of construction, especially getting out of Orlando. A few accidents, you know, on 10. Bad enough to where I had to detour. So I didn't think I'd make it, but nonetheless, I made it. While in New Orleans, while I was in New Orleans in the bunkhouse, I got to meet, you know, a subscriber, one of our Garland drivers, system driver. So shout out to you, Matt. You know, I got to chop it up with him. You know, real down-to-earth guy. So anyway, I went from New Orleans to Houston, which is where I just left out of, and right now we're gonna head over to Waco for 189 miles, and I'm not sure if they're gonna end me there or if they're gonna send me up to the DFW area, but you know, as I always say, you know, we shall see. It feels good to be back in Texas though, because those of y'all that have been following the channel know that I'm always itching to get out west, and you know, I done got my wish. So also, I want to say appreciate all of y'all that tuned in to my last video. If you missed it, you know, be sure to, you know, check that out. I know one of y'all in the comments had asked about why there's no passenger seats. They don't, for the road units, you know, they don't put passenger seats in them. Now, I do know with some of the newer trucks, like the 2025s and 2026s, some of them do have passenger seats, but, you know, for the most part, they don't. And it works out because, you know, a lot of us have, you know, a lock box, or, you know, a box that we keep, like this box right here, you know, I keep all the necessities, you know, that I need to get me through the week in there. So, but all right, y'all, I'm gonna put on some time lapse and I'll check back in with you guys at some point. Touch on another question I received on that last video, and you're not the first one that's asked about the team. So the thing with the teams is, I've never done a team bid here at Southeast. I've covered on the team truck before, but I've never, you know, did like a full, you know, bid. But teaming here, you know, it's no different from, you know, teaming at another LTL or just teaming period. So like as far as how it is here, you know, I can't remember if I commented or if I answered it, but anyway, whatever. It's all about, you know, what you make out of it, you know. As long as you have, you know, a good teammate, you know, somebody that you can coexist with, you know, you'll be fine. So like when it comes to like the type of runs, you know, you're either going to be, it's going to be one or two things. You're either going to have a scheduled run, or, you know, you're going to run wild. Either way you look at it, you know, you'll still make, you know, good money. If you're running wild, you know, they're going to literally run you anywhere and everywhere within, you know, our network. You know, schedule, you know, it's just what it is, you know. Out of all the teams that I've spoken with, you know, I have yet to hear any real complaints, you know. Now, of course, you know, you're going to have the, oh, you know, he might be loud on the phone or what have you, but as far as complaining about the pay, I have yet to hear somebody complain about, you know, the pay, the miles. Well, I take that back. When it comes to running wild, you know, when it's slow, you know, they might run you short, but all I'm gonna say, man, is it's all about, you know, what you make out of it, you know. Find a good partner, you know, run your clock, get your rest, you know, and yeah, that's pretty much all I can say. Next topic, combo. I've never done combo here, so I can't really go too much in depth, but I do know, you know, when it comes to combo, you are gonna run, you know, a short line haul run. You know, the run, from what I understand, is under 300 miles. Now, our combo guys, you know, that follow the channel, you know, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but the run is under, it's either under 300 or 350. It's one of the two. When it comes to combo, you know, you might work the yard before your run. You might work the dock. You know, you might do a P&D run, you know, where you're doing swaps. Basically, put it like this: you're gonna do something before, you know, you do that short line haul run. You know, you might even do shuttle. So if you live in Charlotte, Atlanta, the DFW area, maybe the Houston area, you know, with all those cities that I just named, you know, they're all gonna have multiple terminals. Like Atlanta, for example, we have 4 terminals in the Atlanta area. And if you want to throw Dalton in there, you can include Dalton. It's about an hour and some change, but it's still, you know, not far from the Atlanta area. With Charlotte, you know, we have, you know, 2 in Charlotte. You know, if you live in the DFW area, you know, you're gonna have Dallas, Fort Worth, Garland, and I'm pretty sure there's one more that I'm leaving out. With Houston, you know, where I just left, you know, we have South Houston, North Houston. So what shuttle will look like is, we'll use Atlanta, for example. You'll pretty much shuttle between the 4 terminals. So you might go from the break bulk back and forth to maybe north side or west side. So the point is, you're basically just going to shuttle freight from the break bulk to the other 3 terminals, and you'll just do that back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So that's what, you know, combo shuttling is. As far as how much they make, I honestly, I couldn't tell you, because I'm not sure, because again, I've never done it. So I hope that answers those questions, but I'll put put y'all back on this time lapse, and if anything comes up, I'll tune back in. Which is really Robinson, Texas. And they have confirmed, something was confirmed, that I will be ending it off here for the day. Not a bad night. 4:33 from New Orleans to Houston, and 189 from Houston to Waco. Not bad. This will be my second time here, first time back since the expansion. Let's see, because the last time I came here, I came in through the wrong entrance. Because the first time I came, this road was all dug up, and they had a temporary gate further down. A little more context. The photo on the right, of course, is the yard. The photo on the right is the yard, but that big open field, that's where they expanded and added another entrance. Now, the original entrance was, of course, blocked off, which I didn't know. So I thought, going through the employee, I could get in through the other side and still come in. But again, that whole gate was blocked off. So just a little more context, that way you guys can visually see and understand what I'm saying. You know exactly what I'm talking about. They used to have an entrance. They might still do, but this road here was dug up. So what I had did was I had came in through here to my left, thinking that maybe I could get in there. Y'all, I end up it's funny now, but it wasn't funny during the I end up having to swing the whole set around, break the set. I'd break the set right here, and man, it was, let's just say it was a very embarrassing night for me. But nonetheless, I got it right this time. Never in a million years I think I'll have to break a set in front of the yard, in front of the terminal. So let's see how big they have made this yard since then. It was a mess. I was here, 2 years ago. And I think I have a video of when I was hooking a set here. I gotta go through, but I'm pretty sure I filmed coming here during the construction. Of course, I didn't film, me having to break the set in the parking lot, but I'm pretty sure I do have a video. Okay, so they do still have the other gate. Because see, when I came here the first time, they had just created that gate, so that was where we enter and exit. The gate that I just came from, wasn't there. Alright, y'all, let me go ahead and get these dropped, and we'll probably catch up again. and outbound. All right, y'all, so we're back again, leaving out of Waco. So I'll be taking a set of empties up to Dallas for 108 miles. And of course, I'm not sure what I'll be doing or where I'll be going, you know, when I get there. So we'll just have to find out. I have a pretty good idea of where they might send me. So I'm predicting Memphis. Because that's usually where I go when I leave Dallas. I'll either go to either Memphis, Birmingham, or Shreveport. But I'm banking on Memphis. So when I get there, we'll find out, you know, if I'm right or not, but that's just my prediction. All right, y'all, I ain't got nothing for you now, so I'm gonna put on some time lapse and I'll check in when we get into Dallas. All right, y'all, so we're not too far. Y'all see this bobtail in front of me? He's a prime example of what's wrong with this industry. He is part of the problem. I don't know if y'all can see, one, he's missing, you know, his mud flap. He's what's wrong with this industry. For like the last 30 miles, I don't know what his malfunction is, but he seems to not be able to maintain his speed from speeding up, slowing down, speeding up, slowing down. I probably passed this guy at least 8 times. I kid you not. Passed him 8 times, then he passes me, I pass him, he passes me. Then he plays that game of, as soon as I get my rear trailer, even with his mirrors, he wants to speed up, then I gotta fall back, get right back behind him. Then miles down the road, I pass him again. It's an owner op, by the way. I don't know what it is about these owner ops, like they can never like, what is it to just set the cruise control and just let the truck do its thing? And now he's going 62. It's like he was just going 74 right before I started recording. It's like I just don't get it. I don't get it. Oh, and not to mention, he ain't used not one turn signal. Every lane change. I digress. It's people like him. Now watch. I'm gonna end up catching up to him, and then as soon as I get close enough to him, he's gonna take off again. Sometimes I see why when I hear these old heads talk about, you know, how much the industry has changed or why they got out of trucking, you know, the more years that go by, you know, the more and more I see why. Because it's people like this guy here. And I'm willing to bet you, he's probably texting. I guarantee you his cell phone is in his hand. All right, y'all, let's see what he does. So this will be the 9th time now that I've passed this idiot. Let's see if he takes off again. Let's just see. Now, of course, I could have always, you know, pulled over, wait a few minutes, let him get ahead, but it's like I shouldn't have to, it shouldn't come down to that. You know what I mean? It shouldn't come down to that. Alright, y'all, so we just made it to Dallas. And unfortunately, you know, some things just don't ever change. I'm not trying to badmouth, but I'm just being honest. This is one of those yards where it would help if they had like a map that would tell, you know, people where to put the trailers. It's like you pretty much just drop it anywhere. You don't know where the empties go, where the loadeds are, where's the outbound, where's the inbound. It's almost like, you know, a free for all, but hopefully, you know, one day they'll correct that, you know. So when people like me who rarely come here, they'll know, you know, what to do and where everything goes. But let me go ahead and get this drop, and I'll check back in when I figure out where I'll be going. All right, y'all, so we're back again. So remember how I said I'm predicting either Memphis, Birmingham, or Shreveport? Well, it turns out I'm going to none of those places. So just when you think you have them figured out, they throw that curveball at you. So I will be headed up to Amarillo for 355 miles. I actually need to go get a dolly and hook them up. But I think I'm pretty sure I'm close to that 20-minute mark. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it here, and we're gonna pick it up right here in the next one as we head up to Amarillo. So as I always tell y'all, thank you to all my day one subscribers. Thank you to all my new subscribers. I appreciate you all. And as I always tell y'all, y'all take it easy, y'all stay safe, and we'll catch you in the next one as we head up to Amarillo.